Namaste everyone. Welcome to our 29th annual World Yoga Festival and the 8th International Day of Yoga celebrations. Today is the 5th day. So we made a special subject for today's topic, that is AYUSH. So a lot of people don't know what is AYUSH. It's a 5 major medical system, ancient system in India. Your government of India is promoting those systems through one of the federal department called AYUSH, Ayurveda, Yoga and Naturopathy, Unani, Siddha and Homeopathy. So yoga is part of this department. Today we have a wonderful speaker. Her name is Dr. Jenifer Lancy. She's assistant professor at the Department of Varmam, Puramaruthuvam and Sirappu, Maruthuvam at the Santhigiri Siddha Medical College in Santhigiri, Thiruvanthapuram, Kerala, India. Santhigiri is one of the partner organization for us last some years, and I know the founder, all the Swami's long time friendship with that ashram. Without delay, I want to bring Dr. Jenifer Lancy here. She's on the screen now. First of all, I want to ask Doctor to introduce yourself, where you're coming from, how you start your medical field, why you like the medical field, especially your specialty in your section in AYUSH. Dr. Lancy, floor is for you.
Good evening, one and all. Myself, Dr. Jenifer. I'm coming from. Is my audio visible?
Yeah. We can see it here.
Sir, it's audible.
Yes.
Sir.
Yeah, that is. Keep it closer. That is sound. Will show very well.
Sir, is the audible, sir?
Yes. Good. Reception issue. Yeah, seems like there's a reception issue. Swami Yatidharmananda. He has a problem too. Please repeat. Right. Okay, so Pete, are you there? Pete, Rogina. Okay, Gabriel, then we had to sing a song. Right. Ganesh Sharma. We can't unmute at the same time. You have to. No, you don't have to. You just sing. You just give me the invitation to open. No, you don't have to. You just sing because sound will go through here. Sing the bhajan. Ganesh Sharma.
Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha
Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha
Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha
Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha.
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 Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha. Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha. Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha.
Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha.
Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha.
Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha.
Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha.
Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha.
Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha.
Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha.
Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha.
Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha.
Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha.
Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha.
Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha.
Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha.
Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha.
Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha.
Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha.
Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha. Swami Yatidharmananda. Great. I am happy you are able to join today. Here I like to introduce.
Gabriel.
Yeah. And Swami Yatidharmananda, he is the founder and managing trustee of the Swami Chidananda Sevashram. Currently he is living in Uttaragashi in the mountain range of Himalayas, where I used to live earlier part of my life, and is one of the disabled who travel around the globe to promote his great master, His Holiness Swami Chidananda Maharaj. I had great time with him, and both of them, him and his master, and one of his Guru Bhai passed away last year. He is the person introduced us. So now Swami Yatidharmananda will speak. Thereafter, Dr. Lancy will speak. Yes, Swami Yatidharmananda, the floor is for you. Dr. Lancy, just wait, okay?
Hi, sir. Okay,
Yeah.
sir.
Swami Yatidharmananda.
How much time?
You can take 20 minutes, no problem.
Okay. Good. Thank you, Dileepji. Thank you for this wonderful introduction, and it's always great to be around you. You inspire us to continue to give us hope by doing a lot of work in the field of promotion of yoga, authentic yoga. So I'm happy to have known you, and very, very grateful to be able to be here. So before we start, I would like to dedicate a prayer to our Guru, Swami Chidananda, and to the lineage of Swami Shivananda. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Shivanandaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Chidanandaya. So we are participating in the International Day of Yoga build-up programs. And it was a very, very great privilege and honor to be part of the great scion of yoga, Swami Chidananda. I was lucky and blessed to be around him for about 16 years of my life. So it was a great blessing and opportunity to be able to see someone who's actually practicing what our philosophy, our books, our scriptures have been talking about. It's one thing to talk about philosophy, Vedanta, and different scriptures, and one thing to practice them in the daily life. So that is one great blessing that I had to be able to around him and watch him and observe him. How do we practice these great philosophical declarations across the religion, across the different philosophical understandings? So Vedanta in daily life was one of his main call, yoga in daily life. So how do we bring yoga into daily life? So there are certain stories that I keep repeating. I hear people saying that, oh, you're telling the same story again and again, but it's always a reminder also that how these great ones actually lived what they talked about. So my association with him was very unique, because I, in the beginning, when I was a teenager, I grew up, though I was born and brought up in a very, very religious family, but I had a lot of questions, and those questions ultimately led me to him. And so my questions were against a lot of faith systems, a lot of belief systems. I did not believe. I had problems in having faith in God, having faith in the rituals. So I was asking a lot of questions. And the way my master, my spiritual teacher, explained to me and gave very subtle, interesting ideas about different aspects was what impacted me in a big way. So in the beginning, when I came to the monastery, to the ashram, I was given a 3 months period of time, and I was given a routine to practice meditation. So I was continuing to practice meditation, but yes, I was sitting for 3 hours and trying to meditate. But my mind was taking me here and there in 20 different directions. And I was always having this frustrating experience that, oh, my mind is driving me so crazy. I can never meditate. This is so difficult. So 3 months passed by, and except meditation, everything else was happening. Mind was distracting like crazy, bringing different ideas, different thoughts to the mind. And so after 3 months, I was really thinking that, oh, meditation is not my cup of tea. I think developing software was much easier than meditating. So after 3 months of time, when I met my guru and he asked me, so what is your progress? How is it going? I said, well, except meditation, everything else is happening. So I don't know how to meditate. It's very difficult. I thought it's going to be easy because I had given myself a 6 to 8 months of time. And I thought I will, become realized. I will attain the illumination and maybe talk about it to others. So that was the idea at the time. But in 3 months, I realized that it's so difficult to meditate and to have the experiences of God experience or self-realization. Whether if we are following the path of bhakti, to have darshan of God, to have vision of God, and if you're following the path of knowledge, so to be able to attain that level of consciousness where you have gone beyond the mundane consciousness and you have attained a higher level of consciousness. So all that was not happening. So I said, I'm clueless. I think it's not possible. Maybe it's just some made up story. So at that time, my teacher, my guru, Swami Chidananda, explained a few things which I feel like sharing with everybody. He said that, well, why are you complaining that your mind is driving you crazy while you try to meditate? I said, well, it is driving me crazy. It's bringing me thousands of thoughts into my mind. He said, but then that is the property of the mind. That is what the basic nature of the mind. So you shouldn't complain. Did you ever complain why sugar is so sweet? Why fire is so hot? I said, no, I never complained. He said, well, then you should never complain that your mind is driving you crazy because mind is just doing its job. So you have to understand that you need to go beyond the mind. And that is where the declarations from the Upanishads, from the scriptures, from the Indian philosophy, that you are actually not this limited body, you're not this limited mind, but you are the radiant immortal soul, which is beyond the body and mind. And the body and the mind are two instruments that are given to us by the universe to be able to utilize it and achieve whatever goal we have set in our life, be it materialistic goal or spiritual goal. It depends on each individual. So, but without the body and mind, we cannot do it. And so that's why it's very, very important for us to understand what is the body and what is the mind. So that is how the original ideas were given to me, and in a very, very simple manner. The next question that I had was, how can you say that is not my mind? Because I am my mind, and I am whatever I am is because of my mind. So how can you just reject the mind? I said, well, mind can be your greatest friend. Mind can be your greatest enemy, provided you know how to use it. So, there is a sloka from the Bhagavad Gita.
I have a request to everybody. Please mute yourself. Let the speaker speak. Thank you, Swamiji. Please proceed.
There is a sloka from Bhagavad Gita, it's 6th chapter, which says, Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha moksha, which means mind is the very cause of the bondage as well as the liberation. So that is exactly what was meant by my Guruji for me to understand at that age, that unless I start understanding, unless I start experimenting and finding the truth, okay, me and my mind, are we one or two? Unless we understand this, unless we understand the nature of the mind, and unless we understand how the mind operates and how do we practice to go beyond the mind and not be under the clutches of the mind all the time, but to go beyond the mind. So this is where yogic practices come into picture, the practice of pranayama, practice of meditation, with this basic understanding that I am not the mind. Mind is a tool for me to use, and stand apart from the mind and practice meditation. So these were certain basic understandings that were given by a great master to a novice, and making it very simple, very practical. certain times the theories stay as theory. It's nice, you feel good to intellectually process the knowledge. But when it comes down to practicing it, it becomes very difficult. Another time, first time I heard about ego. What is ego? Until then, my vocabulary was not that strong to understand what is ego. So, which is a big subject to understand. If we want to go beyond the mundane level of consciousness and grow to a higher level of consciousness, first thing is we have to understand the mind. First thing is we need to know what is the nature of the mind and how the mind functions. Otherwise, we keep on going round and round. So then the second thing we need to understand that what is ego. So I had the same question that why do we operate with that ego? So it's a very interesting understanding that was given to me. Talking about the cosmos and the galaxies and the Milky Ways. Said if you start comparing from the cosmos and bring it down to this little being called Swami Yatidharmananda, we are so small, so tiny. And most of the times we are so helpless in small things. Any situation makes us angry. Any person could make us angry very easily. We lose, even if we are very highly qualified and very well placed in the society, but at moments we just behave very stupidly. For example, I was in a city called Bangalore in India recently, and I was driving with a friend of mine who's very highly placed in a company. He's a HR manager, has been counseling people. And somebody was not driving in a nice manner, so he got very upset with this person's, maneuvering by the side of his, and he started shouting and cursing with abusive languages. But the glasses were closed. We were two people, and there was air conditioning running in the car, and this person was shouting and shouting and shouting towards somebody who can't hear what he's saying. So I ended up asking him, look, why are you shouting at me? No, I'm not shouting at you. I'm shouting at that other person. I said, but then he's not listening. So what happens to you? So if we look at our own life, we'll find that we get easily carried away by the mind and the emotions. So yoga focuses on understanding the mind and going beyond it, and not letting our power of discrimination be clouded by emotions, by anger, by any other such negative emotions, and which makes us blind. And that is when the ego operates. So we need to watch out our ego because we are quite small. Any small thing can really make us very vulnerable. So keeping that in mind, when we start practicing, when we start looking at ourselves and ask this question very sincerely and very seriously, me and my mind, are we one or two? However, how many books you read, how many lectures you hear, how many videos on YouTube you watch, until and unless it becomes our own understanding, our own conviction, it's not going to work. So once we understand that me and my mind is just a tool for me to use and go beyond it, and then the magic happens. Then meditation starts. Then you start having this witness feeling. You are watching your own mind. You're watching your own thoughts, observing your thoughts. And once we start this kind of a practice, we start growing in our consciousness. We grow from a baser level of consciousness to a higher level of consciousness, and that is what yoga is all about, to take us from the mundane to the universal, to the higher, to the pure. So So these are certain aspects, and these great ones, they actually lived in this awareness in their daily life. All the time they are in that level of awareness. So we all need to start practicing. So, and then the most common thing that when we talk about these subjects, people say, oh, you are a monk, you are living in a monastery, you don't have to worry about things, you don't have to worry about paying bills. You have all the time, but we are struggling in the world. We have a job to do, we have a family to take care of, we have so many other things, and we don't have time. So my guru used to say very funnily that, when someone falls sick and you have to go to the doctor, you have to make time. You can't say that I don't have time. And then if the doctor says, well, if you don't get admitted to the hospital, maybe the appendicitis might burst and you might die. And then we have to make time. We can't say I don't have time. And we say, okay, give some time to your body, give time to your mind so that you don't have to go to the doctor anytime in your life. We say we don't have time. So it's like, we obviously we are going to get stranded. So these great ones, the lives of these great ones, they inspire us to go in this path of self-discovery through the practice of yoga, meditation, and understand the goal of life, understand where are we going, the most eternal questions that the human beings have been asking since the beginning of time. Who am I? Where am I going? What's the purpose of life? And these are the questions that can be only answered by practicing, by growing in our level of consciousness and growing from a baser level to a higher level of consciousness. Unless we do that, it's very difficult to find answers to many questions that we have in this world today. And we are living in a most stressful time that the human history has ever seen. So we need more than anything else. So I guess, the celebration of International Yoga Day would become very, very fruitful when we try and inspire everyone to exercise, our own humanness, our own ability to go beyond the mind and be humanly human. If you're a Hindu, be a better Hindu. If you're a Christian, become a better Christian. If you're a Muslim, become a better Muslim. Or whatever religion that anybody follows, we all understand how to go beyond. Otherwise, we just stay as we are, and we stay in the baser level, like millions of people live in this world, and we don't realize the purpose of life. So I would leave you with these ideas that please get inspired, do what you have to do to answer these questions and find inspiration and grow from a baser level of consciousness towards a higher level of consciousness. Thank you very much. I'm very thankful to Dileepji to give me this opportunity, and I wish him all the best for the rest of the days till 30th of June. Hari Om. Thank you.
Thank you, Swamiji. Could you
Thank you.
Mention about your upcoming traveling in
Oh,
Europe
yes.
and America?
Okay. So not traveled, so there's a lot of normally I go to Germany to invite me every year for about 4 weeks. So I start traveling from 9th of July. I start from India for about from from 9th of July till 24th of July. And then from 24th of July, I'm going into the Yoga Vidya centers in Germany. Then after Germany, in Germany, I'll be from 24th of July till 26th of August. And in the middle, I go to Budapest from 12th of August till 17th of August. And then after Germany, I go to Amsterdam and Belgium, and then go to France. Possibly go to Spain in Barcelona and Almeria, and then from there I might come to US to meet Dileepji.
Right.
Hopefully in September. So see you. Hopefully I see you there.
Yeah. So thank you for your wonderful support of Well Yoga community and your beautiful words.
Oh, always with you.
Personal life, how it started, and we will continue. We have more events coming up. So see you soon. I know the internet is very difficult there.
I'll stay as long as the internet works. So
okay. Thanks. Now I like to call back Dr. Jenifer Lancy. I hope unmute. Yeah, good. Back to okay. So Dr. Jenifer Lancy, floor is for you.
Yes, sir. Just share. Share. Sir, please allow
Yeah,
us
I'll make
to
you
sharing,
other
sir.
forwards. Yeah, we can try. So just give a little introduction about yourself, then.
Okay, sir. One pleasant good evening, one and all. Myself, I'm Dr. Jenifer. I'm working as a assistant professor in Santhigiri Siddha Medical College, Yoga Maruthuvam. For what purpose I took this department as my major means. Initially, from the childhood itself, I wish to do yogasanas and the school days. I really interested to do that. So that's make me to initiate myself and to practice and to develop myself in yoga. That's why I took my major as a Yoga Maruthuvam. That's totally we called as Sirappu Maruthuvam. In Sirappu Maruthuvam, we'll study a lot of external therapies and yoga procedures and geriatric medicines and rejuvenating medicines like Ayakarpam. So that inspired me to deliver now. That's about, sir. Shall I start now?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, once again, I want to share my big thanks to World Yoga Community, who's conducting the 8th International Yoga Festival and 29th Annual Yoga Festival, who they gave me a great opportunity to share my thoughts on yoga. Today my topic is about the clinical yoga for important conditions. So first, going to that, I wish to say about the Siddha system. What about the Siddha system? The introduction about Siddha system. So everybody may aware of Siddha, I thought, but Siddha system is a medicine that's mainly practiced in the southern part of India. It's one of the earliest and the traditional medicine system that in the world, which treats not only in the body, but also the mind and the soul. Completely Siddha means is the object to be attained a perfection, or it meaning the heavenly bliss. India is a great country. We have a lot of traditional philosophy. Shared that Agastya Siddha is a great founder of Siddha medicines. So 18 Siddhas, who are the pillars of Siddha medicines, they gave a Siddha as a part of India. Next, move on to the yoga and Siddha relevant. In Siddha system of medicine, yoga is one of the important parts. That's the third main ruler of Atanga Yogam. It's from the great text of Thirumula Thirumandiram, the third part of Tirumula Thirumandiram. It's explaining well about the Atthanga Yogam, which is explained by the great Siddha Tirumula from the verses from 549 to 883. So as a Tirumula is a Siddha, he is a Siddha as a yogin. He says that who live in yoga may see the divine power and light through the yoga are the Siddhas. So he experimentally yogi who attained the perfection of life. From the book of Atthanga Yoga, Tirumula Thirumandiram, at the topic of Atthanga Yogam, it's explaining the lot of asanas. See, it simply explains that Palla Adanam, Enila Adanam, which is denoting that there may be a lot of asanas. From the text reference, I'm showing that the word of Pattoda Nuru Pala Asanamame, it's explaining that the asanams are more in the world. So, Arjuna of Yoga, coming to the Arjuna of Yoga, from the same text of Tirumula Thirumandiram, from the verses of 550, it's denoting clearly saying that the asanas are revealed initially by the Nandi from the Lord of Satashiva. That may explain to the other sages like Sanaga, Sanadanda, Sanat Kumara, and Sandana. So, coming to the next topic, the 18 Siddhas and Yoga. Everybody may know the Patanjali Siddhar, who wrote his books, great treatise on yoga in a Sanskrit way. He also tell about lot of Siddha remedies, Siddha medicines, Siddha yoga philosophies, who complain mainly in Sanskrit as well as in Tamil also. He is mainly called as Patanjaliyar or Pampati Siddhar. He gave a lot of Siddha books. One among them, two are Shiraroga Vidhi, Nainaroga Vidhi. From this text reference itself, as a Patanjali Siddhar also wrote a lot of yoga books for this universe. So let us explain next to the topic is Atthanga Yogam. So Atthanga Yogam is a great, thing that's coming under the yoga, which is explaining the 8 limbs of yoga. Siddha is also said to be one who attained the Siddhi. They have a special physic and supernatural power, which they are said to be the 8-fold of science of yoga. In the 8-fold of science of yoga, it's coming under Yamam, Niyamam, Asanam, Pranayamam, Pratyagaram, Dharanam, Dhyanam, Samadhi. From the word itself, everybody may know. I thought it's aware of everybody. It's a thing, the great asanas is coming under the Atthanga Yogam. Next, coming to the concept of body and mind. Yoga is belonging to our body and mind. It is not a separate entity. It's a composite unit. Mainly it's belonging to the concept of homeostasis. Our body has facing a lot of negative and positive energies. So by any stimuli, which is arising from whether it's from external or internal environment, that may cause ill effect to the body. So this continuous psychophysiological disturbance, we call it as a Viksheba Shakti. So when Viksheba get lost, and actually it's depending upon the strength of stimuli and strength or weakness of the homeostatic mechanism. Simply, I want to tell it means our body is mainly, if you practice, if you're having the 3 gunas that we call as Sadvigam, Rajo, Tamo. So if you want to, if you are in a Rajo or Tamo gunam, we have to rectify, we have to clear out the gunam and then make sure that we have to be attain the Sadvik gunam. To attain the Sadvik gunam, we have to practice yoga. So for that purpose, everybody have to practice yogic techniques. So our neuromuscular and neuroglandular system, when it gets provoked, that maybe everybody may know that's getting a fight or flight reactions. So our gunam may changed. So in our body itself, we have a negative and positive auras. So if you want to increase, if you want to stabilize, if you want to improve ourselves, means we have to do a regular yogic practice. So Siddha system is mainly composed of 96 principles. One among them is a main and basic is Dasa Vayu, Dasa Nadi. Everybody may aware of that. When the 10 nadis may defected or diseased, that we called as Tridosham. So already that is 10 nadis. What are the 10 nadis means? Idagalai, Pingalai, Shulumunai, that are coming under Vada, Gandhari, Atti, Singuvai, Alambudai, that's coming under Pitta, Burudan, Sangini, Gugu. These are all things that are coming under Kabab. When the nadi get affected or in the diseased way, it will get a tridosham that we consider as a disease. There may be a chronic flow. If there may be obstructions of chronic flow, there may be a accumulation of diseases. There may be a diseased condition. So if we have to improve ourselves, we have to improve the pranic flow, means automatically we lead a happy and a healthy life. Next, coming to the varieties of yogic practice. When we have to study about the yogic practice, initially everybody have to aware of the term prana. Prana is nothing but it's white, and otherwise it's called as the vital principles. So it's in our everybody's. So that's we call this yoga breathing exercise. So everybody may aware of the Hatha Yoga. It's a now developed and modernized yoga. Lot of asanas are behind that. So mainly Hatha Yoga is to develop the circulate and cultivate the prana and prana. The same way, meanwhile, the asana also is to cultivate and circulate the energy in the body, which strengthen the mind. Next, to asana, it's a pranayama. By using a various breathing technique, that also controls our prana. Next to the prana is a bandha, that it is then called as the energetic locks that contain the prana in the torso and concentrate in 3 main nadis. Finally, it's a mudra that's regulate and channel prana into the chakras that which may arise a Kundalini Shakti. We may heard of the 3 nadis, Idagalai, Pingalai, Shulumunai. From the Muladhara, if you want to arise our Kundalini Shakti, means that if arisal of this Kundalini Shakti reach the Sahasrara, that's through the 7th chakra, the Sahasrara chakra, we will able to get the Shiva Kundalini, that's the lecture of flower. If we got this, means our yogic practice get fulfilled. So everybody have to follow the initial Atanga steps. First 4. Everybody not able to practice the Yama Niyama. If you follow the Yama Niyama, automatically we will attain the asana position, and then step by step we will get the end of Samadhi that will attain the yogic practice. That's a spiritual healing that may attain through these 8 steps. Coming to the types of asanas, there may be 3 types. It's a relaxative types, meditative, and culturals that everybody may aware. That's a under the relaxative asanas, we may doing Makarasana, Shavasana, like that. Under the meditative, the dhyana steps like that we are following. Under the cultural asanas, this is a step which are ensure, enlighten, it strengthen our spinal and muscles of our body. Everybody, day by day, we are practicing the cultural asanas only. So, what I want to say, before everybody entering the asanas, everybody know the precautionary methods. That's the initial, that's the main thing everybody have to aware. So you have to keep in an empty stomach. There should be no warming up. Then the measure of time should be a very good. No need to done above the approximate pressure of everybody oneself, and not do it in a strained manner, or don't do it when they are fatigued or any other chronic illness. These are initial precautions who are started for the beginners. And coming to the rules and regulations, these are the main steps that have to be followed by the every yogic practice people. So you have to done in the morning after going to the bulletin. And the place of asana should be clean and peaceful. The blanket should be spread on the ground in an even manner. Never talk while doing the asanas. No judge should be given to while practicing the asanas. The asana should be done with a minimum of class, and depending upon the seasonal variations, the persons living. The practice of your asanas should be open to all. It starts from whether 10 to or 85 years approximately. So probably how to do. The people who are suffering with a chronic disease, they're not advisable to do the asanas. So when that, and there may be another important point. If you are doing any other asanas, there may be alternate technique. That means we call it as a counterpose asanas, because when we are doing that asanas with the counterpose asanas, that will not create a problem. So everybody have to aware of that counterpose asanas. So end of the asanas, everybody under the finally the ending to the step means everybody have to lay down on the shavasana. This is the main things everybody may aware. Just I want to share it now. If you are do asanas, pranayamas for 1 hour means after that you should not be take any other food for at least half an hour. So these are all the basic things that everybody may aware or unaware that we have to follow when we have to practice yoga. Now I'm coming to the great session because this is the clinical practice who are all hearing this session, who are all in that clinical experience, clinical OPD, IPD level. This is the part they use for their 4 main important cases who are practice the yogasanas means they will get reactions. I want to explain means stress, lumbar disc bulge, the periatrial shoulder, and epilepsy. So first we are going to see the stress relieving asanas. So there will be a lot of asanas, but here I wish to say some little amount of asanas only. So what are the asanas we able to do means Salabhasana is advisable, Dhanurasana is advisable, Halasana, Sarvangasana, then coming to Chakrasana, Bhavana Muktasana, Ushrasana, then Paschimottasana. Next, Bhujangasana, Shavasana, Yoga Mudra. These are all collection from the book of Yoga Ungal. So, coming to the topic of stress, in this fast-moving world, everybody facing a lot of issues, everybody having a depression, everybody having the psychosomatic disorders, they're facing a lot of problems. So, only way of get rid of their problem is by living through the yoga therapy, a drugless therapy, because our mind itself, we have to keep our mind within a limit itself, because in our body itself, we have an hypothalamo-pituitary axis. Everybody may know that the hypothalamus is a guardian of our body, and it's also acts as the fuel for the behavior. So when we in a stress mode, we will able to analyze. Yeah, I am in a very stress mode. I have to be calm myself. That everybody may aware of that oneself. So in the body itself, we may know the right or wrong things. So as a personally, as oneself to the as a two process, in the method of two process, visceral sensation and cognitive sensation. If you are in happy, we may feel like a butterfly is flying in our dummy. If you are in anger, we have feeling of tone of pleasure or anger, fear. Both the processes are accompanied in our body only itself. When we are in that condition, it's a simple thing. When we are practice yogic steps means automatically our hypothalamus will activate, and it denotes, and it's accepted to calm down our mind. So stress is a set of motion of series for adaptive defensive physiological series of body reactions that happening in our body and mind. So when we practice these yogic practice means automatically the stress, the depression, whatever may be the mind disturbing problem may comes down. So on this way, I used to explain about pranayama. It's the first thing as a breathing control. When we are in a hypoic method of our body function, the pranic way flow channel, if you regularize our pranic flow, that's better to heal our oneself. So in the pranayama, Nadi Shuddhi, there's alternate nostril breathing, the Bhastrika, the Brahmari, the Sheetalai, and Sitkari. These are the initial steps to calm down our minds. And the very simple technique means it's a mudra. We call it as Shambhavi mudra and Yoga mudra, then Shanmagi mudra. These 3 mudras are also efficacy in treating the stress conditions. So it's very easy to do it by everybody. Next, I want to share about the one by one about the yogasana posture. Here, the practitioner showing that first it's a Paschimottasana. It's a posterior stretch pose. The patient sitting on the sole of their feet, and now he is pulling at the heels with his hands and place their elbow on the ground. Now bury the face in between the knees, and then he raise the body little while inhaling and bring it back to again exhaling. This is the procedure of Paschimottanasana. This the practitioner is doing. If you follow this Paschimottanasana, automatically it will strengthen, it's calm down our mind. So when doing this Paschimottanasana, we have to be concentrate on our Adharam, that's a chakra, especially on which chakra means this Manipura chakra. If you concentrate on this Manipura chakra, automatically the mind comes down. The pranic flow, when there is a disturbance of pranic flow, when there is a disturbance in the circulation of our body, it comes down. So when practice Paschimottanasana, it automatically strengthens our Shulamana Nadi and increase the elasticity of spine, and it leads to our life into a perennial youth. Then moving on to Yoga Mudra, see that the patients, as a practitioner, doing that posture with Jirasana or Padmasana, he tried to touch the head to the floor of the mat, and he also facing the posture and concentrating on the Manipura chakra. Next, Savasana, everybody had able to do. This asana also puts a new life to batter the mind and body, and leaves a lot of stiffness and restlessness of our mind. Next, move on to Dhanurasana. It's also called as a bow pose. So, see the patient, so the practitioner hanging the hands with legs and look like in a bow. This asana also provide a new life, provide new relaxation for the mind. Next to the Bhanamuktasana, this is patients lying down on the back region, and they try to stretch the leg to touch the belly of their abdomen, belly of their body, and then he used to keep it on for 3 to 5 seconds and then come back. And he is concentrating on the Manipura chakra. She is concentrating on the Manipura chakra. This asana regulates the wind in the body. That's why it's called the wind, especially it's called wind blow wind. Then
I think there is a connection problem with the doctor. So I'll let her come back. Is Peace Rogina here? If everybody can open your video. Namaste, namaste. Oh, okay. She's coming back. Let us see. Okay, she is coming back. Make course. Okay.
sorry for the interruption, sir.
Yeah. Please proceed.
Let me conclude, sir.
Yeah.
So now, moving on to lumbar canal stenosis, that's the thing I want to say. This is one critical condition. This is not initially not able to yoga steps initially. For this condition in our OPD, we will give internal medicines. After that, after getting in curing of the inflamed part over the lumbar vertebra. So after that, we will try to do the following asanas. What are the asanas means? Trigonasana, Virabhadrasana, Padahasana, Shalabhasana, Dhanurasana, Shivasana, Pinchamayurasana. These are the postures. I'm showing that postures of Yogasana. This is the Trigonasana, patients and turning the body to the 45 degree and through the inhaling as first doing in the right side and the same. Meanwhile, they doing on the left side also. Next, Virabhadrasana is look like a warrior pose. See the practitioner doing standing in the straight leg with the reach of 3 to 4 feet and turning the body to the 90 degree and then by about 50 degree of standby. Make that gentle effort to push their pelvis down and hold their posture as the like in a warrior. Next, the Padahasana. So initially it's not able to do. So for this lumbar canal stenosis, I am initially advising the patient to do the counter pose asanas also, because already they having a disc bulge. On this concept, I used to say if we are doing the Padahasana, meanwhile they had this to do the Artha Chakrasana. So that's may not cause ill effect seriously. Next to Shasana is the camel pose. So see the patient, the practitioner standing on the knees and keep the thighs twisted. And the Saidubandhasana, then Halasana, then Jangasana. Next, the third thing is Pariyatad shoulder. I want to rush up now because there are maybe a lot of speakers to speak. So I want to
you can continue.
So Pariyatad shoulder is Trigona. Okay.
You can continue. Yeah.
Trigonasana, Trigonasana, Virabhadrasana, Pasvotasana, Pachimotasana, Komuhasana, Kapotasana, and Dhanurasana. So what I want to say about Pariyatad shoulder means it's mainly due to degeneration and due to the people who are suffering with lot of metabolic disorders and the people who are suffering with diabetes mellitus are severely they're suffering with the shoulder pain. So to give a short remedy of this relieving methodology, we advised Yogasanam, especially Trigonasana, Virabhadrasana, and Parvatasana, and Pachimotasana, and Komugasana. By doing these asanas, especially by doing the Komugasana, the patient may able to lift their hands and they will say that the pain get reduced. The Kapotasana is a pigeon pose. Initially, they may not able to do. After the end of the session, they will be able to do it. But for the light steps only, Dhanurasana, it's a bow pose. This is once again, I'm repeating the posture. Finally, we are going to conclude with a condition called epilepsy. For this condition, epilepsy is everybody may know that it's an abnormal neural discharge in the brain. Due to this effect, there may be excitatory actions. To suppress the excitatory actions, we have giving an internal medicine. With that, after that, we have to advise them to do asanas. Especially, we want to advise them to do a Sarvangasana, Halasana, Vachimatasana. With that, we are advising the pranayamam technique, Ujjayi, Sitali, Dhyanam. So Sarvangasana is the shoulder stand position. Then Halasana. Then Vachimatasana. The Vachimatasana, see the patient stretching their arms, head lengthening the spine, bring the chin towards the chin and the chest towards the thighs. And right down and hold on to legs or feet and keep the breathing normally. Next, move on to Nadi Shuddhi. So to stabilize and to activate the brain, the good way of healing methodology is practicing the Nadi Shuddhi. So alternate nostril breathing that may increase the brain circulation and then their health level. Finally, Ujjayi. Ujjayi is to close the mouth and constrict the throat and make short of exhalation, then start inhalation slowly and rhythmically in one long and unbroken inspirations. The allow of air into the passage of constricted throat, creating the friction sounds. By procedure of the Ujjayi, they may feel well. And finally, the Shitali. The Shitali is also making the folded tongue. Inhale the air, breathe through the canal of tongue and release the tongue and close the mouth and exhale out through the nose. Finally, Dhyanam is a procedure to calm down their mind. So these are all the asanas which I'm showing that the epilepsy relieving conditions. So finally, I want to conclude the things is from the above noted things, everybody may know that well treating methodology, that yoga is the main condition for our every ill health. In the fast-running world, we are facing a lot of health issues and mental disturbance to get rid of these particular situations. Such a one drugless and efficacy in treating methodology is yoga. So personally, I want to share that daily yoga practice may boost our immune system and to lead a healthy life. So on the base, yoga therapy is mainly based on self-regulation of the patients. Wherever we will take a pharmaco or a psychological therapies, depend upon the physician and the drug. But beside the conditions, yoga is a one multifactorial need of simple and spiritual method. So myself, I want to thank once again Guruji and the guest speakers and my I want to thank my college principal and management and my staffs of my college and in the online sessions who are all hearing. Thank you, Anandal. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Doctor, keep your video on.
Okay.
Okay, coming. Spotlight. Okay. So we are going to open up for a question answer section.
Yes, sir.
If anybody want to ask a question, please ask. If anyone has a question. Yeah. So you made this presentation according to Siddha tradition, correct?
Yes. Yes, sir.
So how Siddha and Ayurveda and yoga connected?
Okay, sir. It's a very good question. Siddha, it's the only thing is it's book-based things only, sir. It's a differentiating of authors only. So in the Ayurveda, it's mainly belong to the Siddha Patanjali. In Siddha, we are following the Siddha Tirumular. That's the only thing we following the methodology of Tirumular. In Ayurveda, they following the methodology of Patanjali Siddha, sir. That's the thing I want to share, sir.
I asked that question purposely so that way the viewers, we have over 500 people are watching online, so they can understand. Because people know heard about yoga, they heard about Ayurveda, but it's not familiar Siddha system in the West.
Yes.
So okay, so Patanjali is from north of India, but Siddha they are from the south. So that is from the Dravidian culture, and Patanjali is more from the North Indian culture, right? More of the Aryan culture. So which is oldest system?
I thought, sir, it's both of them is old system only, but our philosophical thought is created from the Lord Shiva. Basically, from the Lord Shiva itself, it's follower of Siddhas, Padmanabha Siddhas, sir. So I thought it's belonging to them both.
Right, that's a good answer. But if Shivas belong to the Siddha, means Shiva is a South Indian. We have to say that.
It's acceptable, sir. Acceptable,
So,
sir.
Parvati is from.
I don't want to partition, sir.
I'm saying, some people like to hear the history, you know.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, sir. I really have that doubt, sir. But one thing I want to share is don't participate. That's the thing, sir.
Somebody
treating
like
the same people only, sir.
Yeah. Somebody like to make a comment. I hear that sound.
Yes.
Okay. The question what I've asked is quite interesting, but I also have few interesting facts to share. In fact, the Patanjali's father who is Attari Maharishi. You have an ashram for him in south, in actually southern part of Tamil Nadu, that is Tirunelveli, where you have Attari Malai and you have ashram for him here. So what I mean to say is like these sages, right? They don't belong to a specific geographical location or
Correct.
something.
Correct.
I mean, they have traveled to different parts of India and they have established their ashramam wherever they went, and they just spread what they believe. So what I feel is like you can't just restrict them to a particular geographical location or particular system of medicine
They
or
are
something.
universalists. Yes.
And but what she meant was like Siddha, they believe mostly the yoga that has been preached by Tirumular, but whereas the Ayurveda, they follow the yoga that has been preached by Patanjali. But both the school of thoughts, they have a lot of similarities, and of course, they also have a lot of differences and uniqueness among them.
Right.
Okay.
So I am asking these questions purposely, so giving some thoughts to people, and we don't want anybody getting the monopoly on certain things. That's needed, because we believe all the knowledge came from the universe. That should be as it is.
Exactly, sir. In fact, every system of medicine, what I believe is actually they have adapted different kind of knowledges and different school of thoughts from different various people and various religions and various sects, I would say. So, I mean, none of the medical system which are in exist today, you can say that it develops only on its own, and it have not. It have not adapted any of the principles or any of the philosophies from the other system. You can't say that. That is a fact which I have seen when I went through the text of even Siddha or even the few text of Ayurveda and even few other other system of medicine that has been translated to English.
Right. So I had a discussion with the Swami Bua, the origin of Vedas, and few things I had actually it written in different language. The origin of the Veda is in different language where we heard now. Okay. So I'm working on that one. See what is the real history started. It's very hard to find out.
Obviously, it is actually very hard because for a very long period of time we have been following only the oral tradition. Correct. And there is no written tradition at all. So once when the oral tradition when they try to transform into written tradition, only after at that time there were a lot of additions and which actually diversified it. So it's like, the task which you have taken is really a very difficult one, I guess. But it's only very few people have interest and have worked on that. But anyway, it's quite an interesting one.
Right. Does anybody have any question or comments in the group? And Sudhir Rajashekaran, right? Rajashekar. You are from which part?
I'm from Tamil Nadu, sir. I'm basically from Tirunelveli.
Tirunelveli.
Yeah.
I always go through that area. I go to Maruthuvam and travel.
Maruthuvam is again a very good place to visit.
Yeah,
maybe you can visit Attari once then.
Yeah, I spent 1 year totally in the mountain before coming to America. We had a Siddha there. A lot of
the college in which I did my undergraduation, it was in the same district and it is hardly some 30 kilometers from Maruthuvam. And I've been there some 15 to 20 times minimum during my undergraduation.
Okay. Great. So let us see, because this is only the starting of the program with the AYUSH. Last year we had so many speakers. This year we added online yoga as a competition. So it took extra 6 days only for them. And we had to build up AYUSH more in this meeting. That's important. In the West, especially in America, yoga or Ayurveda, Siddha, all are not recognized. So this last month, we made a resolution at the New York State, and State Assembly and Senate adopted June 21st as the Yoga Day. And the governor is signing the proclamation for us. So some things are happening. So we want to bring all the traditional systems to the West. So people can learn and practice, change the lifestyle, because they don't know anything here. And we cannot blame them because they are living in a different culture. So I thought bringing all the different types of knowledge from different systems from different countries, it should be open for everybody. We try our best and see how to work out. Government of India is so happy about this, and the Indian consulate is partnering with us for some of the events. Even we have a yoga celebration in a cruise next Sunday.
Okay.
So we all travel in a cruise for 5 hours, have yoga sessions, vegetarian and vegan food, and some VIPs are coming. So we try different aspects to promote it.
It's a good initiative, sir.
So I already proposed to our Professor Pillaji in Santhigiri to start a yoga training program.
Okay.
So that will be wonderful. I know the government of India has a lot of funding for yoga, and we don't have to worry about, easy to get if you do a proper project. So I hope Dr. Jenifer, Lancy, and all the doctors, professors can promote yoga very strong in the ashram, and that will help a lot of people. Especially doctors are supposed to know what is yoga. They should practice it. Yeah. In the AYUSH section, all the doctors should practice yoga. Let us see how it will work out. Any other comments or questions?
You have to mute that from the unmute.
Yeah. So Gabriel is going to ask a question. Or he wants to make a comment. Okay.
Namaste, everyone.
Make the sound.
Yes. Listen. Namaste, everyone. I just want to say that this is a great platform. What Guruji just said right now is a dream come true. This bringing all the systems together, having a place where all the systems can finally emerge as one total health system. Sorry, my apologies. One total health system, utilizing the same principles expressed differently to be able to coordinate all under one umbrella. Because in reality, this is, regardless of the different body types, the different constitutions, the different formal approaches to health and medicine, this is always evolving and it's always changing different directions. So we need to utilize as many different branches or arms to be able to approach things. We have to have a total approach. This has to be holistic, and this needs this separationistic idea of medicine, of law, of all these different things need to stop, and it needs to be about unison. It needs to work in harmony. Otherwise, it's going to be fragmented and nothing is going to get done. So I just wanted to comment that this is beautiful, almost like heaven on earth, that this is starting to finally become recognized and flower into this beautiful, hopefully one day, beautiful garden where we can all celebrate and live in harmony. Thank you.
Thank you, Gabriel, for your beautiful comment. Now I like to invite our Board of Trustee, Sri Raj Bhushan SQR known as Brother Oneness and see what are his comments. Bye, floor is for you.
Okay. Namaste, everyone. Sorry, I was not able to participate from the beginning.
Okay.
I'm not sure what has been discussed, what's the relevant topic I need to comment on. I got the glimpse of what Brother Premdas, Brother Gabriel had said that about something related to health issue. I'll see if that's the topic. I would say our mental health, physical health, emotional health, all are important for our well-being, especially the emotional health. Emotion means energy in action. So my brother, late brother, was a psychiatrist. He always said, get in touch with your feelings. So that means whatever we are feeling, we have to express it if appropriate. If it's a negative feeling, we have to deal with it, and then start praying, change the thought process in some way. Take a walk, drink a glass of water. All these are different aspects to calm our mind, to break the thought pattern. Sometimes even the napping also helps. Just taking a short nap, wake up fresh, then whatever bothering in our mind goes away. So all the components of health, emotional, physical, mental, is crucial. And yoga is something which is that samadhi state is where the mind is totally at rest and all the thought process has disappeared. So then we are one with the divine. Then we bring in all those divine qualities of peace, love, compassion, positive thought, praying for everyone, concern for everyone. All these things will manifest because we are divine beings having human experience. So we are in this process. When we get caught up in the world and day-to-day dealings, all the emotions, negative emotions will prevail, such as anger, jealousy, greed, envy, that I am different from Guruji and everyone else. Those feelings of pride takes over. Then our mental health is disturbed. Then our body cannot function effectively. So even when you go to the doctor, they say, take a deep breath, calm down, your blood pressure is going up and you have to deal with it. So I'm glad to be part of World Yoga community for the last several years from the inception and supporting all the activity. Now the New York legislature has recognized June 1st as the Yoga Day. And then also we'll be celebrating many activities. I'm tremendously fortunate to be part of the World Yoga community and all the constantly meeting wonderful people from all around the world. Sorry, I didn't get to listen to all the participants today, but this is my contribution. Let's pray for everyone. Let's look out for everyone. So when we radiate the positive thought, we are contributing to the collective consciousness of the universe. So we are doing our part. God has sent on this earth to share his love with all of divine beings. Everyone is a divine being. Swami Vivekananda talked about everyone is potentially divine, but Sai Baba always said everyone is divine. We just have to peel those layers of body identification and go with the soul identification of what we really are, the soul, the breath process. So we inhale all the good thoughts, exhale all the bad thoughts. So thank you, Guruji. I'll conclude my remarks here. Thanks again. I hope to stay for the remaining part of the program, but I may get distracted. I have some other commitment here. My longtime friend of 50 years, he's traveling to India. I'm just here to see him off at the Plaza Hotel, in Queens. So in the morning, I was taking care of my grandchildren. So multitasking. Sairam. God bless you.
Bye for your comments. I'm going to show Swami Bua's one of the clip made by Guruma from Haryana. Let us see.
Jnana Vijnana Triptatma Kutasto Vijitendriyaha. That is the definition given by Bhagavad Gita for a yogi. And Yoga International Day is a reminder to all of us that we have to become that. One who has mastered the senses and the mind, one who doesn't has any lust or greed or ego, in all humbleness and in all great love and surrender for the Almighty. We need to follow the path of yoga, as this is the only way to uplift us. And this is what Pujya Swamiji taught his whole life, especially when he used to practice his asanas, the wonderment, the ease in which he would do his asanas, his poise, and especially if you look in his eyes, and the eyes are filled with so much of love and so much of calmness, but so much sturdy and so much strong and so much muscular in his body. Swamiji, through his body, and especially when he would give the demonstration of his asanas, was exhibiting that is how every practitioner should be: strong, sturdy, but filled with equipoise and calmness. Not with an attitude that I have mastered this very difficult advanced asanas, that I can do those postures which are very, very difficult to master. But even in doing those very advanced poses, Swamiji always had that childlike, beautiful poise and glow on his face. Yoga is not just about creating the contortion of the body. Yoga is also about having a very loveful mind which has devotion for Lord, which has great surrender for the lotus feet of the Lord, who is omniscient. Yoga is also about illumination of our intellect, and that happens through Brahma Vidya, that is the Upanishad and Bhagavad Gita. So if we relate to that, if we become a learner, and if we get this wisdom, this higher wisdom, the Brahma Vidya, in our intellect, then we have a buddhi, an intellect, which is going to be so illustrious, and a mind which is calm and is free of greed, lust, anger, and ego. This mind is like a very translucent mind. And a body which practices yogasanas and pranayam every day, this is the body which is free of diseases. As Swamiji used to say, not all, but some diseases definitely can be removed. But our target is to make body so strong and so healthy and so vibrant that there is a beautiful balance of Vat, Pitta, and Kaph, and you have a very strong, vibrating system. So on this International Yoga Day, let's take a vow that we will all become a true yogi, a true yogini, by bringing this integrated yoga of bhakti, of asanas, that is the Ashtanga yoga, and also of the Jnana yoga. With these three yogas in our life, surely, definitively, we will be experiencing great contentment. And with great gratitude, we can say, thank you, Lord, and thank you all the yogis who have given us this path. And let's do our pranam to the present, past, and all the future yogis of this world. Namaste.
Do you love Gantt charts? Here's how easily you can build one in Clicker. Let's map out the tasks for your Gantt chart in this list. Perfect. Now,
So at least you saw a clip. That is Guruma She's from Haryana. I visited her in 2007 when Swami was staying there for a few days. And after that, he came back to New York. Then I was living with him until 2010. 2010, he went back to India. He passed away in Bangalore. That's the story. Even though we put Swami Vivekananda's name in the resolution at the New York State, because Swami Vivekananda is the first person brought the philosophy of Hinduism to the America. Then we put Indira Devi, who is the first person start the yoga studio in America, in Los Angeles. We put her name, but we didn't put Swami Bua's name. We don't want to put everybody's name in one resolution. In the future, we'll add his name. But he's a person promoted yogasana sports. So that has to be recognized in America. And let us see how it will work out. So now I like to invite Pete Rogina. Are you there? If he's not there, I'm going to wind up today. We have a celebration, interfaith celebration at the Ganesh temple. That's the first temple started in North America. So Gabriel will be there and Dajbai also going to meet there. So thank you everyone. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow we have a Gita class by Dr. T.P. Shashikumarji from Hyderabad. We'll continue tomorrow. I like to thank Dr. Jenifer Lancy for wonderful presentation, even though we had little internet problems. That doesn't matter. That was a knowledgeable presentation. I want to thank Santhigiri Ashram and Dr. Gopinath Pillaji for putting speaker for us and partnering this event. We'll have a special day only for partner event with Santhigiri. That will be June 28, Tuesday, on June 28. So let us see. See you all tomorrow. Thank you.